Get Nuts for Nutrition, a presentation by Claire Napoli and Savannah Anderson. Before getting started, please click the link provided and take a short 4-question survey. This will introduce to you the topics being discussed throughout the presentation and will also give us a feel for your knowledge before the presentation versus after. Thank you. Why should you stay hydrated? To keep our bodies functioning properly. To ensure that you're getting adequate hydration, you should drink at least 64 fluid ounces a day. This includes non-caffeinated beverages. Caffeinated beverages cause frequent urination and they actually promote dehydration. As an older adult, it is important to get enough water because you typically have less body mass than younger people. You have a smaller reserve for fluids, making you more prone to dehydration. Cholesterol. What is it? Cholesterol is a fat-like substance that travels through the blood on proteins called lipoproteins. There are 2 types of cholesterol: LDL, which is bad cholesterol, and HDL, which is good cholesterol. LDL is considered bad cholesterol. This is because high levels of LDL leads to buildup in your arteries. HDL is considered good cholesterol. HDL carries cholesterol from other parts of the body back to the liver. The liver then removes that cholesterol from the body. So why is it important? If you have too much in your blood, it can stick to the walls of your arteries and narrow them, or even block them. This puts you at risk for coronary artery disease and other heart diseases. How can you lower your cholesterol? By choosing healthier fats. Limit both the total and saturated fats in your daily diet. No more than 25 to 35% of your daily calories should come from dietary fats, and less than 7% of your daily calories should come from saturated fats. Depending on how many calories you eat per day, here is a chart of the maximum amounts of fats that you should consume.
Here we have some examples of foods containing healthy fats and unhealthy fats. On the healthy side, we have things like nuts such as almonds, cashews, peanuts, pecans, and walnuts. We have vegetable oils such as olive oil and peanut oil. We have peanut and almond butter, avocado, salmon, herring, sardines, seeds like sunflower seeds, soybeans, tofu, and chia seeds. On the unhealthy side, we have butter, margarine, shortening, beef or pork fat, high-fat dairy foods like whole milk, cheese, sour cream, and unfortunately ice cream. There's lard, fried foods like french fries, donuts, and deep-fried fast foods, and then baked goods.
Bad fats. Bad fats include trans fat and saturated fat. Trans fat raises your LDL, which is your bad cholesterol, and lowers your HDL, your good cholesterol. Trans fat is mostly found in foods made with hydrogenated oils and fats, like margarine, crackers, french fries. Saturated fat raises your LDL more than anything else in your diet. Saturated fat is found in some meats, dairy products, chocolate, baked goods, and deep fried foods.
Now that we know that we need to watch out for trans fats and saturated fats in our diets, we can look on food labels to see if or how much of these fats are in our food. Before we do that, let's take a thorough look at how we read a food label. First, let's look at the serving information, which is at the top of the food label and highlighted in blue. This section shows you the number of servings in the package and the serving size. The serving size is provided in units, such as cups, pieces, slices, ounces, grams, etc. The serving size is a reflection of the amount that most people eat or drink, but it is not a recommendation of how much you personally should eat or drink. Our sample package contains 4 servings, and each serving is 1 cup or 227 grams. Next, we'll look at calories, which is highlighted in pink. Calories refer to the amount of energy you get from the food or drink you are consuming. On our food label here, 1 serving of this food will give you 280 calories. If you were to eat the entire package, which would be all 4 servings, you would consume 1,120 calories. The general guide for nutrition is 2,000 calories a day, but everybody's caloric needs are different and will be dependent upon your age, sex, height, weight, and physical activity level. Moving on to the nutrients section, which is highlighted in yellow, we see lots of information. So let's break it down into 2 sections. Nutrients we want to get more of and nutrients we want to get less of. Nutrients we want to get more of are dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium, which all have a green arrow pointing to them. These are all nutrients that Americans typically do not get enough of. Dietary fiber can increase the frequency of bowel movements, lower blood glucose and cholesterol levels, and reduce calorie intake. And vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium can reduce the risk of developing osteoporosis, anemia, and high blood pressure. The nutrients we want to get less of are saturated fats, sodium, and added sugars, which all have a red arrow pointing to them. Consuming too much saturated fat and sodium has been shown to increase your risk of developing cardiovascular disease and high blood pressure. And having too much added sugar will make it hard to meet your nutrient needs while staying within your calorie limit. Let's also look at the difference between total sugars and added sugars. Total sugars represent sugars that are naturally present in foods, such as fruit, whereas added sugars represent sugars that are added to foods, such as sucrose, dextrose, table sugar, syrups, honeys, and concentrated fruit juices. Lastly, on the far right side of the food label, we have our percent of daily value section highlighted in purple. This shows us the percentage of the daily value for each nutrient in a serving of food. It helps us to determine if a serving of food is high or low in a specific nutrient. For example, the amount of iron you get from the food represented on our example food label is 8% of your daily value, which is considered low. So you would need to eat foods with more iron to reach your daily value recommendations. Then we have sodium, which is 37% of your daily value. This is considered to be high, so you might want to watch your sodium intake throughout the rest of your day. Now that we know how to read a food label and what fats to avoid, go out and try some of these heart-healthy recipes to help lower your cholesterol. These are just a few examples, but there are so many more available and easily accessible online.
Now that we have gone through the presentation, we ask that you please retake the survey that was presented to you at the beginning of the presentation, so you can show us what you learned. Thank you so much for listening.